There we go.
Okay. Perfect. We good? Oh
Yep,
yeah, I see it. Perfect. We good.
we're good. Hey everyone, welcome to the Kelly Berger podcast. I'm the Kelly Berger, who is the main Kelly and Berger ingredient that makes the podcast, Kelly Berger podcast, and we are on episode
Meh.
number 22, which will go pew 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 pew.
Choo choo choo.
And today's guest is a man I know as Neil.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm Neil. Neil MacArthur. Neil Face is my DJ name. Meh.
Yeah, this is my first time actually hearing your last name because the way me and we knew each other was like when you worked at Acme.
Yeah. I still work at Acme. Still there every week.
Nice. Which
Yeah.
day do you still work during the open mic?
Yep. I still work every Tuesday for the open mic, and then I work every uh Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday coming up. But yeah,
Nice.
I've been there for like 10 years, so I really can't get away from it, you know?
Nice. And you started in Acme 10 years ago? Like,
Yeah, like 2014, 2015-ish. I've been there for a bunch of their anniversaries. I was a huge fan of the stand-up. And actually, when I first got into Acme, I was trying to go to the open mics to maybe get myself on stage because I was really I was writing jokes and I didn't really understand the scene. Went for 2 years and checked up every open mic and eventually just got a job there and started doing music. I I still love comedy with all my heart, but I leave the comedy to the comics, and I can edit some funny videos and make some beats. You know what I'm
nice.
saying? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And have you ever had any wild experiences like carrying any shows at the Acme?
There's always just like weird stuff going on. People getting too drunk. It's always kind of crazy that when you work at a place, and especially like Acme, where you see grown-ups doing very dumb shit. Like one of the I'll just give you a quick example. Bachelorette parties. I don't know, not to say bachelorette parties are bad, but they tend to be a lot of women
Mhm.
hanging out, and they have to be brought into a room and then told not to talk with their best friends for an hour or and a half while they're out having like a fun night. And sometimes that goes bad. So like one time we had a bachelorette party sitting in the entire back of Acme, and the entire back. We had not told any of them to leave, but they were all talking. So the ushers will come up to you and be like, "Hey, can you keep it down? Hey, don't disrupt. This is a quiet show. There's no talking." We had talked to enough of them where they all just assumed that they were being kicked out and got up and left.
Oh,
As they got up and had they all got up and left, we didn't kick them out. As we got up and left, the parents, there's two moms there, they went right outside the doors and sat there going, "I can't believe you kick us out. We're paying customers." We had to be like, "Hey, you guys got," we had to the point where like, we're going to call the cops if you guys don't get up and leave. And we actually had called the cops. The cops show up. And the right before, the only reason they left is the cops were like, "Okay, you either going to get up or you're getting arrested right now." So it's one of those things where like you see grown-ups acting like so dumb. It's like, hey, just leave. It's your, you know what I mean?
oh, that sounds like a real strong case of female solidarity. If one of us goes, we all go.
We all go to jail. But
Yeah,
no,
have you?
there's always it always gets quirky. Some people do some really funny bits too. Like at the open mics, like one of my favorite things I've seen is like this might be a little raw, but Max just gets on stage, takes a belt, puts it around his neck, and flips it over a pipe and goes, "I'm gonna do it, guys," and then run his set holding a belt over his neck.
And does
Just shit, or
anyone
like
jump up trying to stop him?
no, they saw the bit. Or there was one where even Mac pulled out a freaking crap pipe and started smoking CBD on stage. So it wasn't crack, but he had like a meth pipe. And then he was hitting like a meth pipe on stage with CBD crystals and making everybody, and then started his set. It was just like, let's go.
Oh, that is so Max.
Right? So unhinged. I'm so glad he works there. He was one of my favorite people. Like I love getting to watch the open mic crowds evolve because I've been there for so long.
Mhm.
I've like watched like Mike Lester go from an open micer to a headliner, Greg Coleman, open micer, headliner. A lot of people might have been like features, and now I see them as headliners. Robert Burrill,
Mhm.
Tommy's actually always been a headliner since I worked there. But it's been really interesting to always watch the progression. Like I get to watch the new every time we bring in a new group of people to
Mhm.
be MCs. I'm at the open mics watching these people going, "Oh, Grant's really funny. I think he'd be a good MC." And then like 2 years later, he becomes one.
Yep, I
There's a
just
new.
saw him last Saturday when I went to go watch. I was at Acme last Saturday. I got to watch Jackie Cation.
I love Jackie. Jackie's a beast.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, Grant's great too. Like I said, the new wave of the comics that we have coming up are they're always good. Like I love that we're always gonna have good comedy. Our scene's very flourishing and it's really cool to watch. Like I started my own comedy show on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah,
So
the
every
make culture.
yeah, I started that and I'm able to populate it with some crazy good comedians. I'm able to bring in so many good comedians, and I get actually, and it's cool because Make Culture gives me money to pay them. So
Nice.
I'm able to give them $40 for a spot. They throw on 20 minutes. It's really cool. And then I DJ the doors for 2 hours. I get to DJ before the comedy, which I think is really fun.
Oh yeah, it's amazing like how well like playing music before a comedy show helps enhance the experience.
Yeah, a little vibe, even if it's just like a DJ spinning some regular stuff. I think it's a vibe. Iro's actually hiring me to do he's doing a show at the Hook and Ladder for 12 weeks starting October 20th. And I've done it before, but I'm gonna be DJing the doors for him for that time. It's all
Nice.
every Sunday for a couple months, which is like, like you said, DJ like live anything in front of live stuff is really cool, and live music in front of comedy is pretty fun.
Yep, I remember when I was at the comedy store, they would have a guy playing the piano before the comedy show.
Oh, that'd be really fun.
That was just helps set the mood, get people sort of amped up for a comedy.
Yeah, I,
And
I
even when I,
agree.
and even before when I do like a stand-up set, I always have my own go-to playlist that I listen to before I go on stage.
Oh, sweet. To hype you up type of stuff.
Yes, and it's also it's public on YouTube. You can see it on my YouTube channel, just like stage prep.
Oh, cool. I'll check that out. Well,
Yeah.
name a couple songs on there. What do we got going for some stage prep?
Let's say got Paranoid by Garbage.
That's a sick song.
Yep, and Liz Phair's Extraordinary.
Getting yourself pumped up is what you're saying.
Yep.
And complicated. Yeah.
And also one from the couple from the Popeye movie.
That's I that movie's so old. Robin
Yep.
Williams at his worst, but also at his beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
But that movie has some great tunes I still listen to.
Nice. Heck yeah. Tunes in a movie really make the movie.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and you talked about like Max Nagans early on. Have you ever seen like any crazy comedy stunts during the Acme contest?
Not during the contest. During the contest, it seems like those are all pretty much newer comedians, and if not, they're running their hits. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're not like for the contest, more or less. You never really get to see stuff too far of the of like people trying a good set that might nail. And yeah, so no one really tries anything too crazy. Normally, the open mics is where I see probably the
Mhm.
most unhinged stuff, and then maybe depending on the comic, how they maybe do something interesting. Like I can't wait till everyone sees Mary Mac's next special.
Mhm.
The way she presented the ending was one of the funniest things I've ever seen at act, or it's like one of the most unhinged and like, oh, this is crazy things I've seen a set happen at Acme. I don't know if I want to give that much away of it, but it was very funny to watch like Mary Mac kind of have like an Eric Andre type of like, skit where like the whole stage is devolving around her. There's a band walking out, people like delivering pizzas. It's crazy, dude. It's fun. So it just depends on the show people are trying to provide. So like yeah, not for the contest, definitely for the open mics. And then if a comedian's trying to like really push something really cool, you know. Like one thing I really loved is when Todd Glass actually brought a band and he had them to the left of the stage left, if you're looking up. He
Mhm.
had three of the local musicians and he would have them doing stingers and stuff. So he'd be like, band, hit it, pop, 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 da, 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 da.
And
Just
he
like
would move
having
all
someone to,
around.
yeah, have
I
like a
remember
have
when I remember when
a
he did that the Royal Comedy Club in Hopkins, where he would have a band and he would walk all around the room. He'd be very animated.
yeah, creating it, like making it more of like an experience with the comedy as well. Todd Glass, I love Todd Glass.
Yeah, it's watching him is sort of like watching comedy in with a VR headset in real
Right?
life.
It's like so immersive. Yeah, no, like I'm trying to think of any kind of unhinged stories really quick. I've seen comedians devolve into pulling out a mirror from the back and screaming at it, going, "Is this what you guys want?" That's happened at Acme too. The one of the I'm not going to say which spot. If you've been there, you know who it is. If you don't need to know the name. But his set was going so bad. He walked into the back, grabbed a mirror, walked it back out into the front, and then put it in front and just yelled at the mirror in front of the audience, going, "Is this what you guys want?" So it's like it could get a little bit unhinged, you know.
Yep. And
Oh,
Neil,
go
do you have
ahead.
any advice for comedians from like a staff member's perspective, like how to?
Oh, if you're making the staff laugh, regardless if the crowd's on your side, you're winning.
Nice.
If the crowd is dead, but everyone in the back is laughing, you're getting every one of those heads is worth 20 people's laughs. If you think about it, just because we see everything and we're not like giving you like we're laughing because it's good, you know.
Hmm.
So if you're ever on stage and you hear the staff laughing and the crowd isn't, don't ever be like, I'm not doing good. Just know that you're crushing.
That's good. That's good to hear, because sometimes when I just hear like a laugh from the back, I'm not sure if like they're laughing because they think the jokes are funny, or if they're laughing because they think I'm fucking up.
No, it's you. If you're ever hearing staff laugh, it's because we're like, oh, he's killing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's because it's. I'm not gonna lie, as we've seen it all, and we've actually seen some of these comedian sets countless times, you know. And so if you're able to make us laugh, then you're like, oh, you're in it. So I think like that's a very good tip. Is if you got the staff on your side, it doesn't matter how bad your set is, you're killing it.
Hmm.
Another one is I'd say this is just a stab for a second. Don't get too drunk. We've seen
Hmm.
it. We've seen it happen. I'm a DJ. I've had it happen before. You know, you maybe had a little bit too much fun on the way in, and then all of a sudden your set kind of suffers a little bit. You know what I mean? I'd say that just as a staff watching a lot of comedy. I've been like Acme for so long.
And also, when you're
Um,
drunk, you become like difficult to work with, and
exactly. And so yeah, no, you don't want to make yourself look bad, especially because you're on stage performing, you know?
yeah, we don't want to
Um,
throw out. We have a tough time just throwing out hecklers with cops. We don't want to add comics to that too.
exactly. All of a sudden there's a cop out there grabbing a comic that's too drunk. I don't think that's ever happened, but I have seen some comics get a little too drunk.
Hmm.
But it hasn't happened too often, especially recently. It seems like in the last like I'm in the music scene, but also like in some of the comedy scenes, at least seems like a lot of them are just Minnesota sober. I mean, or like holding back in Minnesota sober because Minnesota is actually known for having a pretty sobriety. Like we're pretty good at bringing people in and helping them become sober. I've interviewed a bunch of musicians, and so a lot of what I'm seeing in the comedy scene is like not everyone's like I see a lot of more people just smoking weed and just like laying low. Like some of the people where I think they'd be so unhinged, they're like, no, they've either quit drinking or drink very minimally, smoke weed, and you know what I mean. I think that's a cool thing to watch the community evolve into. You know, my community, also the comic community as well.
Yeah, and that's the whole theme of the Southern Theater for the Balls Cabaret.
Hmm.
It's a space for like sober performers.
Cool. Yeah, no, like even that May culture comedy, we're not marketed as sober, but there's not a bar there.
Hmm.
So whenever you come to there, it's actually kind of just a store in a mall that we built a beautiful stage in. Provide like we have drinks and seltzer like seltzery drinks and stuff, but it's not like, hey, come here and there's like a bar and like, you know what I mean? So it's been interesting to see me hold the crowd there, but people come out and hang out. It's pretty fun. So
Yeah,
um yeah.
it's a good space, especially we know plenty of comedians who like struggle with addiction, and
Hmm. As a
people just have
musician,
this
me too.
assumption like comedy's like this no rules bar, and that's like from
Yeah.
the audience perspective.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially if you're not a fan, think people go up there and wing it, or like they feel it's like one of those things where they're so good at it that they make you think you can do it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Especially a good comedian or a comedian that's really comfortable, and they might have a drink or two, but like it's not even. It's like exactly. It's like trying to think where I'm going with this, but it's now kind of a good point. It's like I said, a good point where everyone can kind of not feel like it's the main thing that needs to be there.
Hmm.
So
Like I just took alcohol on my diet completely because it sort of like affects like your timing, your pacing. Some words like you need to add more volume.
yeah, I agree. You feel like you're doing better than you are. You're like lying to yourself that you're killing it when you're just like maybe just a little drunker than you think you are or something.
And also like addiction like knocks people down who have had like great talent.
Yeah, you could take anybody. I have like recently got over kind of my own addictions. I still have alcohol and marijuana, but like coming from what I was doing before, I'm like, I'm chilling right now. Eventually I'll kick the alcohol in a little bit, but like from what I was doing, it's like good to also like celebrate victories where they are, you know? And so like it's like if you're coming off of something, you can't do everything at once. And it being people, some people can, and I still get everything done that I need to, so I don't feel it's too much of a problem. But
Mm-hmm.
I always respect anyone that can kind of do it any other way. I like it's cool that anyone can do it because like I don't know, people that tend to do arts like us tend to seem to like rely on some sort of crutch for a while. You know what I mean? We're always just like, you know, trying to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. And also like there's two camps of artists. Like there's people who want to be seen as good artists and people who want to make good art.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. That's a very good way to put it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather make good art and then people come to it than just want to be seen as a good artist. That's just in my opinion for that. But I guess everyone, like I see where that sentiment would really lie, you know?
Mm-hmm. I also want to ask you about your experience doing music. Like, what kind of music do you do?
Music's been a crazy thing for me, coming up from it because I'm 36 right now, and I didn't touch music. I got my first guitar when I was 20, and played that for a couple of years. Learned to play guitar, and I was like, oh, I like it's. I've always wanted to create. I was a skateboarder, and I've always been like kind of in and out of creating. And then when I hit 20, I'm like, I love music. Let's see if I can do that. Guitar turned into. I went to my first EDM show, dubstep. That turned into me going, oh, not guitar, DJ, and then DJ turned into how do I make the music I'm DJing? That turns into producer. Producer turns into audio engineer, depending on your genre. So I've been on this long journey of going from like a person that just loved music to wanting to create it by learning instruments to wanting to create it by like learning how to do all the stuff inside the computer so I can produce my own songs, all the way to like learning how to make it all professionally by going to my music school, Slam Academy, shout out. And I work there still and I promote that. I'm actually with the podcast with them. And so it kind of full circles into now I love teaching it. I produced a lot of, I went from like, it's crazy how you can go from, and creator out there, how you can go from never getting on stage and scared. You do your first three, you make that first three shine and then build more jokes and get more comfortable on stage and figure out the art and the way to really space it out. Just like in music, it takes a lot of musicians, especially because we're all ADHD brain too, that like to finish one song is so hard. Two songs is so hard. But once you've finished a couple songs, you're like, I can do this. It's hard. There's work. But once you realize the work and realize that you can see the end and you can work on ideas till they're finished, that's when you're kind of like, okay, I can do this. And that took a while. It took me years. But when I finally nailed that, now I'm like, oh, I can make a song. It's going to take a while. And I know people, I have friends that are way, way better at making music than me. Talented, very, very instrumental. They're very good at what they do. But I don't think I'm less because it takes me more time to get something good. I just know that I have to work a little harder. I didn't do music since I was 6. I'm one guy in my band. He's been doing music since he was a kid. He plays cello, bass, guitar, produces, does all that. And I never go, oh, I'm not as good as him. I'm like, oh, he's just good at that stuff. I'm good at this, you know?
And you still like tweak like the same song like years and years afterwards, like comics do with their jokes?
You can remix stuff like that. And if you're performing them, yes. But once you've kind of, comics have the opportunity to tweak as they need to because you can kind of see throwing it in sets. Musicians can too. We can do little remixes and stuff. So but like when we put the song on Spotify or on SoundCloud or like Here World, here's the way you can listen to this piece of music. It's kind of done there. But if you see these musicians live, depending on how much they want to like be live, you can see different variations of the same music you love. Like that's one thing I love about the EDM music I produce and perform and stuff, is that like a lot of my favorite artists, you can listen to their Spotify, you can go on their SoundCloud and stuff, but nothing beats like how cool some of the songs they're going to drop live are. They remix them, they change them, they perform them up. And so like in the essence, they will continue tweaking them, but not in the way like where a comic can take one idea, tweak it for 5 years, and we see just as before and after with a, you know, it's like music works a little different than that, but we're always still evolving because after like musicians are probably like comedians too. All right, that's done. Let me start another song. Or like you're in the middle of working on one song, you're like, I like this song, but I'm bored. Let me make another song real quick. And then you have 10 songs that are barely worked on when you could have one done. You know what I mean? It's the struggle of just too many ideas, you know?
Yep, and
But
that's
they're like, oh, go ahead, brother.
yep. And what are some good places to practice music in Minneapolis where you can see people up and coming?
Oh, so it all depends on the scene. I've actually came up in a couple of different scenes. If you're trying to get, it depends if you're trying to listen to live music, if you're trying to listen to club or EDM music. I came from three separate scenes. One was like a lot of EDM, mostly dubstep and underground. We have a wonderful, amazing underground dubstep and EDM, like low, like very interesting experimental people kind of pushing genre music. We have amazing community of that. We also have amazing community of like people that do singer-songwriter stuff and bands.
Mhm.
I came up in both those communities because the first I was a DJ to start, a dubstep DJ. From that, I evolved into a multi-genre DJ, meaning I like to play a lot of different music, not just like one, so I can play everywhere. I love performing and playing people's music and my music. And then that turned into me doing hip hop and starting a band with my buddy Dave. And then now I'm kind of full kind around doing like all that kind of stuff. So Minneapolis, if you're trying to go see it's good that we have a bunch of awesome clubs. If you're trying to go see live music, there's 331, there's Turf. Sociable Ciderworks has probably one of the best open mics. They have like 40 or 50 musicians doing 1 to 2 songs. They're all some of the best in the city. For the EDM, if you're trying to go as big as you can, the Armory always has fun shows. If you're going down to the bottom, the Culminate has a way for you to listen to. A Culminate is like we were talking about sober.
Mhm.
They're an art studio that put a stage there that they throw shows every Thursday. So there's a comfortable space to hear weird, funky EDM music where you can go to a space and there's mocktails, and the whole vibe is to listen to good music and enjoy it, not just like be at a club doing drugs. Because sometimes
Mhm.
back in the day, especially when I started getting in the scene, and they're probably the young kids probably have that vibes here and there, but it's
Yep,
like,
for
oh,
sure.
this is a safe place to do drugs and hang out. Now it's like, no, we really just want to go and enjoy this music with
Mhm.
the same quality that space would have, but not be the center of attention. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
yeah, so there's a lot of very good places to pick your genre. There's like, depending on what you like to listen to, that's going to kind of navigate where you can go and find amazing live music. Minneapolis is very, very privy to some.
Yep. Have you ever been to First Avenue? I've heard that's like the Acme of music in Minneapolis.
It's the act. I love First Avenue, and the First Avenue is First Avenue is so cool. Just like Acme, we're one of the best music venues in the country. Like that's like, if you like, some artists be like, I played to Acme. That's kind of a stamp on there. First Ave is the same, and it's a beautiful venue. If you're in Minneapolis, and if you already know, but so First Ave and any of the little side clubs that it hosts, the Pantages, Turf Club, like I said before, they're all affiliated. They throw amazing shows. So they're and like, yeah, I've got to see some of my favorite people. That, and actually, come to think of it, the first I went to when I was 16 was at First Avenue with my buddy, listening to POS. It's some underground hip hop from
Nice.
Chicago. Yeah.
Let's see. You said you have any crazy like DJ stories?
Uh, I'm trying to think of any. I'm a wedding DJ too. I've been a wedding DJ for 5 years now. This is my last season, or not my last season. This is the end of my 5th season. I actually started my own wedding DJ company. Um, there's a lot of like there's probably crazier like stories at weddings than there are me
Mhm.
maybe DJing shows. Because when I DJ shows, I kind of go in DJ and then I kind of like step to the side, and so I'm very like not that. But with weddings, like one of the trippiest weddings I had is I was going to a wedding. I work for a company, and the person that had that wedding was had called in sick, so I was going into a wedding with someone I never met before. I've been doing it for a while, so it's good. I get to the wedding, and the groom is on kind of a spectrum where the bride walks up to me and goes, "Hey, we'll be surprised if we get through the ceremony. Just bear with us with whatever we're doing." I'm like, okay. We get through the ceremony just fine, and then right before we're about to serve dinner, I'm like, "Hey guys, we're gonna go get some food." The groom's like, "No, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about anything." The bride's like, "No, no, it's fine." They both get up and leave for 3.5 hours in the middle of their wedding, where everyone's just sitting around. I'm like, I'm with my trainee, and I'm like, okay, this is why you hire a professional. This is why you hire a professional, because like you have, I'm here just holding it down,
So
playing background music,
so
and
the
then all of a
bride,
sudden this drunk lady walks up and she's like, that guy broke my best friend's heart. I'm high as fuck and drunk as shit. Play some club music. I'm like, I got you. Yeah, by Usher. Beep, played it. Got the dance floor got together after a while. Everyone was like, I guess we're done being sad. And then I got the floor back. The bride and groom got out. I played their song. We turned it back on. But it's one of those things where you're like, dude, you spent so much money to do this. What are you guys doing?
I guess they just were impatient for the honeymoon.
Yeah, right. And during COVID, it was I guess COVID was very weird for being a DJ and working at Acme, because like I'd go into Wisconsin and people had a very interesting COVID compared to what I kind of did, in the sense where everyone was like, I've been in my house, I haven't been to social media, I haven't talked to people in like time. And I'm like, I was DJing weddings the whole time, and a lot of weddings in Wisconsin. So it would be like that summer in June of COVID, and I'd be in front of like 150 people, no masks, in a barn in Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so
And I'd be
Wisconsin
like,
was more loose than
oh,
Minnesota.
when I kept the mask on to make them comfortable, but I'm like, I'm gonna get COVID with them. Fuck it. Like, I don't know what else to do. But no, so like in COVID, it was like literally June. Nobody, I was rocking weddings the entire time, and it's just with nobody caring, walking up. It was wild.
Yeah, that's great.
If I think of any other stories, I'll let you know. But I'm can't like right now blanking for just a sec.
Yeah. And yeah, speaking of music, I think one of my favorite memories of like with one of the other people who worked at Acme was with David Velkovich.
Dave Velk, yeah.
He would rap at some of the comedy open mics, and
oh, that was fun. Yeah, we even played at like the one at the Moose.
Yep, I remember that.
We also played the Terminal too. We played a couple places. It was fun.
And that's like one of those rare instances where music actually fits in well with the comedy crowd.
Yeah, we did that. Me and Dave did that comedy rap beatdown for almost 2 years. And that was like comedy and rap put together. It was really cool. We had a roast battle, a rap battle, open comedians, a headline comedian, a headline rapper. It was very fun.
Yeah, it was fun watching David rap.
Yeah, dude, he was fantastic.
Yep. And I think we'll talk about what happened with David. It was so sad to see him go. It was in the summer of 2022.
Yeah, it was May 1st of 2022, and you were correct. Yeah, no, it was pretty tragic. I kind of so Dave Velk, server at Acme, I met him there. What made that guy so fucking crazy is that he wanted to be a comic.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually performing open mics when I met him. He worked at Acme. He played he was doing open mics. He was just wanted to be a comic. That's what he was doing when I met him. The pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, we had nothing to do. He had nothing to do, but he'd been like rapping since he was a teenager. So he just knew I did music. So he's like, "Hey man, can you like put my voice on this beat? I really just wanted, I know you do music, and can you do that?" And that turned into me making a beat, making music with him, which turned into us being like, "Hey, like, we just want to work on music?" And we became like a rap duo. And I mean, the crazy thing with that dude is I've never seen anyone in my life work that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen anyone in my life care about anything that much. I've never seen anyone in my life like literally. He would have gone broke just to get his music out there, and he wanted to make an impact. He wanted to rap and be in front of people, and so it was crazy. We got together, started producing music together, and in that time we had came up in the open mic scene at the Sociable, playing shows with them. And then from that we started getting shows all over the city together. Me DJing, played the Terminal Bar. We played we booked a show at Poorhouse. We booked a show at Weird Green Room. We were playing all these shows, and then eventually me and Dave were like, it was crazy. So I was making all the music with Dave. Like so this is kind of a little inside baseball. Before I met Dave, I never finished a song. I maybe finished one or two, kinda. They weren't released. They weren't stuff. And then I met Dave, and he kind of showed me and gave me the courage and motivation to be able to finish music. Like I said, finishing music's hard.
Yeah, is it a
That's
lot of
hard.
perfectionism?
Yeah, it's hard to get. It's like for anyone that's ever worked on a track, and this is the one thing I teach anybody or tell everyone when they start, because it's so hard to do, is how to get out of your own way. How to be like, this is done. I've been playing the same loop for hours. I'm not getting anywhere. Thinking it's not done when it could be just good. It could be done. It could be good enough. Finish it and put it out. And I never had that clarity. I met Dave, and I would be working on a beat, working on this music for us, as he's like in the other room editing and doing stuff. And he'd walk in. He's like, "So is that done?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like sitting there. I've been sitting there for 2 hours working on a kick drum, working on like a sound, nothing that no one would fucking hear. Nobody would even notice. And I'm sitting there for hours just working on the sound, making it sound just this much more better. Nothing crazy. And he'd be like, I'd be like, "Do you hear it? Does that sound better?" He's like, "Yeah, kind of. It's good, right? Why isn't it done?" Like, he didn't understand the nerdy technical shit that like some of us do, like this perfectionism. And he helped me get out of my own way, because he's like, "Dude, it's done. You're only making this to sound better for da da da." And through that repetition of having him help me get out of my way, started finishing way more music. And then eventually I wouldn't spend years or hours and hours and hours trying to make a song work, when I know I'm just yanking on this for me and it's not doing anything. And then I started finishing music, which was one of the craziest things to start doing. Finishing music is so hard. It's
Like,
and so
same thing with a joke. It's like it can always get better. Like you feel like there's more you can add to it.
exactly. It's like, oh, it's not done. It's like, but it is. No, but I can like, I hear a place here, but it's like, and so what it's really cool with like Dave is he helped me, like what I say with art too, is he helped me whenever I used to draw a lot. And so when I would tell people when I'd be doing drawing and doing that type of stuff, how I would know that I'm done with the piece of work is I would sign it. When I signed it, that was me going, I'm done. I'm not going to tweak on this anymore. I'm not going to sit here anymore and like yank on this idea, because it's not, you know what I mean? It's done. And then once I signed it, it was rarely when I would ever go back and tweak on it. So I finally was able to do that with my music. Finally go, that is done. I'm signing it. I know it's not going to, it's kind of like learning that you've got it as good as you possibly can right now. Get it as good as you can, and then sign it, get it out, so that you have that little piece out there and be like, I was that good right there. Make your next piece. Your next piece is going to be way better. Your next song, your next joke, your next piece of work will always be better, but it won't get there if you don't finish it. You know, if you don't finish the piece before, to be confident you can do it. So Dave taught me that. And he also taught me to work hard. During the pandemic, I work at a music school, and at this music school, I work at this music school, and at this music school, they closed, and I had keys to like a studio. And so every day during the pandemic, nobody would use it but me and Dave. Like the whole school, the whole staff had keys. Nobody showed up. Me and Dave, every morning, 10 o'clock, he would be there earlier. I was like dragging my ass out of bed, driving to the school to open it. He's just already in his car rapping. He's already in his car writing for like half an hour. He's been there. And so I would learn to like wake up and show up to work. Like, even if it's you're like a joke, you have to show up to for comics, write throughout the day, show up to the open mics, you know, be doing the work. And I never, like, I was always doing music, but I never was like doing the work to be what Dave saw in it, which was crazy. So we'd show up every day at 10, we'd work on music all day. I'd be practicing, learning how to mix, engineer, produce beats, record, all the stuff that takes someone to make a music that's releasable. Me and him would do that every day, and that turned me into the musician I am. The knowing the motivation, having him there, like kind of forcing me to do it. Yeah. And so with that, me and him, I went from 0 tracks to producing, like, I probably not 30 or 40 tracks plus, like something like that. We have 20 some tracks on Spotify. So when we also had, so we had all this music we were producing, we were performing it, and then we were like, what's the next thing we can do? We were working with a lot of musicians, so we put together a band. So we have a band together of 4 or 5 musicians that are way better than me at the guitarist and drummer we had in our band and the keyboard saxophone player were some of the best musicians I've like had the chance to see and yet work with. It was insane. And so I got to and and it was crazy because John, I actually would have him come in and do all the guitar parts on my music. So it was very easy to work with him. But I got to watch all these crazy talented musicians perform my music. That was crazy. I had all these people performing the music. I would just be doing backing vocals and scratching in the back, and I'd have live guitar, drum, bass, keys, flute, all that shit. Dave rapping, Bria singing. It was so cool. And so that once we got to that, that's where it was all taking off.
Mhm.
And so it's flip to kind of how this story kind of goes. Dave was working super hard, and unfortunately, on May 1st, because of a robbery that went wrong, I
Mhm.
came home to him. I came home to him, passed away. I came to him. He was shot in the chest, and I came home to him on the floor in my studio. After going to my girlfriend's house the night before,
Oh,
and
you
so
walked in there?
yeah, I walked in and found him on the ground and had to basically you call the cops and they have you try to like give him CPR, even though you're kind of like, you know,
Mhm.
just so I think they do that so that you can't think of anything. The cops were there in 2 minutes. It was insane. There was fire department. I called the cops, and as I was like pressing on his chest, a fire truck rolled up. It was crazy. And so, with that, the investigation's still ongoing after 2 years, even though we have a lot of evidence supporting who we think it is. He's on the run. He's not convicted, and I just can't say his name, but all this is on the news. I've been the Care 11 has a fantastic reporter, and he has been keeping contact with me. Any updates he's putting on. Anytime we do we do a memorial now every year.
Mhm.
His it was beautiful. The so we be with that everything I said about how much motivation he was for me, he was that for so many people in the music community that we interacted with. All these people at Sociable that got to work with us.
And it sounds like he gave like a very it sounds like his lesson that he taught you earlier on like to get something finished seems more important now because we never know when any of us are gonna go.
No, get it exactly. That thing, it doesn't matter. Like if you're like working on that one little sound and didn't get it out, like it was crazy for his memorial or his funeral. Actually, it wasn't a funeral. We called it a celebration of life, and
Mhm.
it's basically we took some of the best performers that Dave loved. Laura Hugo, freaking Marin. Oh, it was crazy. What was their name? It's just these two ladies. They have such a cool name. I can't remember it. But all these like we played a concert for Dave.
Mhm.
And one of the craziest things and it's kind of about the concert is that I'm very good at using the software that I produce with. And so I was able to, it was kind of crazy. The band that we played with, I was able to make it so we could perform a Dave Velk's set,
Mhm.
Bria and the whole band. And then I had it set so that they would play. And then when Dave's parts happened, he would sing his parts sang over the band. It was crazy. It was like having him there with us. It was so wild. And so just like it was a lot, it was some practice, but like I said, I know it, and it like worked. It was beautiful. Dave was there with us when we were, and now we and it and but so yeah, no, his motivate his he taught that to me, but like all these people at that open mic, his energy was so infectious.
Mhm.
That's what everyone just saw this random dorky weird dude that's super fun. Go from like who the fuck is this guy to like everyone's like thank you for like helping me believe in myself, helping me believe in my art. Because like Dave walked out believing in himself so much, it kind of made you believe in yourself too. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like, dude, he's like doing it, and he's like he tries, and so everything I do now after that, it took me a couple months a while to like figure everything out. I'm still figuring everything out, but with what he taught me in the motivation, started another band with my buddy who helped me produce, and I now produce 3 podcasts.
Mhm.
We do 10 I drop 10 podcasts a month, and I don't think I would have that motivation or like no to just wake up and work on stuff, you know what I mean? That's like it takes like a big slap in the face of your like ways to
Mhm.
like really get out of your way and make good stuff. And Dave got me to here right now. I'm like a kind of not a workaholic, but
Mhm.
I take all the shit I do pretty fucking serious, and I work really hard to like produce what I do, DJ, music I make, and stuff. So R.I.P. Dave. Like I played at the Mall of America Rotunda on on Saturday or Sunday. I played at yesterday. I played at the Mall of America Rotunda, and the last song I played was one of my favorite Dave Velk track, Electric Love remix on YouTube. But I
I'll check it out. Electric Love remix.
yeah, it's Electric Love, Dave Belk. It's a remix of Electric Love by Born. One of my favorite songs. And then Dave and me, it was like a month before it all happened. We made music so organically. He was like, "Here's this beat," and then I took the beat. And I'm like, "This sounds like a remix of this," and I made this. And he's like, "What I loved about producing with Dave is." I hear horror stories about working with rappers, especially Dave wasn't a typical rapper, but like working with people, and especially they're like want to take so much creative control of certain spots. Dave he rapped, gave his idea, would let me know if he didn't like what I was doing, but would always like when it came to the music, trust me and let me do my thing. And I made very weird, cool, and interesting music because of that. Like, dude wouldn't be like, I wanted this. He's like, he would just listen to what I was doing. He's like, that's sick. And he wouldn't like be in the way of me, which was very cool because then I was able to make very cool music that I never really would have thought of. And so, yeah. And oh yeah, for the memorial, I meant to say, work on stuff like for his memorial, I think it was like 15 tracks that were unreleased, or like I just had the beat and his vocals or stuff. I took them all, and for the memorial, released them all so that anyone that wanted to listen to any music that they hadn't even heard on Spotify or anywhere else, I took it all and took it off my laptop and put it on the internet so that people could enjoy it. Because some of my favorite songs we never got to release. Like I think there's 2 or 3 of the songs in there. One of them is for sure that were like we were like it was like it was the release in June. You know what I mean? Because we were releasing a track a month. We were doing all the real ways to try to build it. Like, and it was crazy. First Ave at one point was actually asking us they were trying to find a spot for us to open for a band at First Ave. That's where we were at when we were doing that. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So it just shows us like it's just work, man. You can do anything. You just got to do a fucking lot of work.
Yeah, I talked about this before with Patrick Strait, where people like go into like an artistic field, like in music and comedy. They sort of see like thinking like an escape from like responsibility and work ethic, but then
It's
when
like
you
the
get into it,
opposite.
yes,
To do it right, it's so much more. It's the complete opposite if you want to be as good as what you think is good. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Because like
that's why
it's all
like we
cool.
see so many people like quit comedy and music because they realize like, oh, this is an actual real job, and
It's yeah, dude. I agree. Though I always tell anyone, especially myself, it's a marathon, not a race. You know, it's like the like 80% of anyone pursuing anything that they're doing drops out. They all leave. It's hard. It's hard to stay being a musician. It's hard to stay being a DJ, comedian, continuing following our passions, and hopefully it'll be a tangible but it's also for the love of it. I love getting on stage. I love performing. I love creating media. I love creating art. I love
yeah,
like I even if I didn't like I like that I get paid for it now. I love that I can have the opportunities to do this, but I would like always be doing this. I'd always, you know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
it's
Do you still get annoyed when like when people ask you like, so do you make any quote unquote living out of it?
yeah, no, I say not yet. Actually, the thing is, I'm not making living, but I can proudly say right now, podcasting can pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
Off all the ones I release, I get paid for them all, and all because I don't charge a lot. The two that these three will be the cheapest I'll ever charge anyone for podcast. If you're looking for a podcast producer, I got you, but it won't be as cheap as I'm doing it now. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really cool to get to work with Mike and Ben doing the troll hole. I work with Aiden McCluskey
On Goal
and
Mentality.
yep, I produce all that. And then I do one for my music school called Slamcast, where me and Bria, the singer, we interview musicians and interview musicians and creatives and ask them about their creative process and how they navigate their self online and stuff. So we can ask, like, as a musician, sometimes I want to ask, like, I got to talk to you right now. This guy's name's Virtual Riot. He's this insanely talented producer. He right now he works at my school. He had to postpone it for a little bit, but he's right now producing an album with Skrillex. So it was really cool to be able to talk to this guy and be like, how do you do it? How'd you get your first show? How do you think creatively? Who does your social media? Like asking actual professional guys that like we all like people look up to, including me, questions that I would have loved to know the answers to because I love the way I feel that I'm like still coming out of being a new producer, or like a new, like I know how it feels not to know what the fuck I'm doing. It's
Right.
like right over there is how far it was. And now I know, and I have like all these things I'd love to share with other people, slash it all means so much to me to know, because I'm still trying to figure out the fuck I'm doing, you know?
Yep. I'm glad you brought up like goat mentality and the troll hole, because that was the last thing I wanted to ask you about, like your experience like editing and producing those shows.
Yeah, so those have been fucking so cool. So I can give you just some cool deets about that. So it was in February, I think. I'm just gonna kind of this spring. Ben and Mike hit me up and they're like, "Hey, do you want to like? We're trying to do a podcast. You want to help us produce it?" And that turned into like, okay. So we got together, we started making a schedule, and then we banked like 8 episodes. I'd never recorded a podcast. I've never did the audio. Never done that. I never did any video. Randomly going to trip back though. When I was working with Dave in high school and like in my life, I've always loved graphic design. It kind of died out after I got into college, but I've always loved music videos. I've always wanted to do graphic design, but I never got around to it. It was so cool because when I got with Dave and we started working, I started making music videos. Like me and Dave started making music videos, reels, content. I'd film so much stuff with my iPhone. I learned how to video edit. I learned how to do all the video, at least basic stuff, with my phone. So that was like, oh shit, I know how to do video work now. That's freaking sick. So I knew how to work a camera pretty well. I'm still learning now, but I'm like way back. Learn how to work the camera, and so when Ben and Mike came to me, they're like, "Hey, can you help me produce a podcast?" I'm like, "I'll figure it out." And from there, I got to like one of my all-time favorite comedians was the first guest, Mike Kaplan. I was like, "What the fuck? Mike Kaplan's here? Bringing out Mike Kaplan? It's like fuck." He knew who I was. I work at Acme, but it's so cool, like just have him hang out with Mike and Ben. Started with that. Kelsey Cook was the second one. We recently had Chad Daniels.
I saw that one.
Yeah,
I still remember
so
I still remember Chad's line, like "fuck you, Sylvia."
Yeah, fuck you, Sylvia. That was so funny. Hey, what's Mike? What's your mom's name? Fuck you, Sylvia. That's so good. And so we banked a bunch, and then they started. I was like, hey, if I'm gonna do this, can you please just like compensate me a little? They compensate me just to where like I made it cheap enough for them to be able to afford it, but enough where I can feel like I'm making some money until if this podcast pops off, we'll all be fed. But it's so cool to be able to like, because I put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of work, and I'm glad they respect it. They're very, very respectful of it. And so it is cool. So we banked the 9, and now we have an episode out every Tuesday since we started releasing, not missing one. 3 clips a week. And I've learned it, and what I thought was really cool is like I'm getting paid to learn to make podcasts. I'm like I've never done this before. I'm learning every podcast a little bit more. I've had some podcasts I've fucked up the whole thing. Like I've fucked up shots that look like straight dog shit. I've fucked up audio and made it look like straight dog shit. I fucked up
too.
Yeah, dude. We're like, oops, I forgot to hit record on a thing. Something
I'm still
died.
trying to learn like the proper speaking volume. Like I know with my autism, like I've sort of like try to focus on saying these things correctly, but then I sort of raise the volume and no. So there was also one episode where my nose was running. I didn't know it.
Oh no,
that one
that sucks, dude. Yeah, so it's like
hopefully it's not noticeable. We'll see if when I put it out.
Just put like a little blur around your nose, like to edit.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to do proper editing. That's why I'm so far behind schedule. Like this episode might not even come out for like a couple months because I'm.
It's one of those things you got to batch work on them. Like, how do you edit? Do you camera switch?
That's what I'm learning right now. Right now, I have my brother help me, but he's busy with his own life, and
yeah,
there's some episodes where I'm like, I don't know if I feel comfortable having a family member see this.
I don't think I think your family member won't see it. You're fine. And also if you learn to camera switch, you can leave it stuck on one video, but if you learn to camera switch, you can cut out stuff because if you say something weird and you cut it, you can cut the spots that are like kind of dicey because you go in between the 2 cameras. I use Final Cut. I learned how to multicam. I'm also like before I was an audio guy, before I was a video guy, I was an audio guy. So I'm able to mix the audio really well. And I've also learned how to do it. I've like been learning how to do it, and now I can like confidently do it really fast, which helps out a lot. But yeah, no. So I learned. I through that we started releasing stuff. I threw on some lights. Ooh, I found a new camera angle. Ooh, and then to like literally like I think it was this week or last week, I just spent like $1,000 on lights because if people want to buy a new camera, it actually is better for you. It's better for you to buy lights and light up a studio better than to buy a new camera that's better than your iPhone. If your iPhone is like, if your iPhone is within like 20, like if you have iPhone 11 or better, you can get a good shot if you have good lights.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is I spent money on lights, and now, dude, the goat mentality looking good.
Yep.
The
Do you
troll house
provide like
looking
the
good.
car crash videos for that podcast?
No, we just we just kind of like grab a YouTube video and throw it up in the back, and I kind of chop it up so it stays pretty, you know. I with that, yeah, no, I don't provide the car cast, but that's what they're watching the whole time. So as they're sitting there, that's what's in front of them. And so it's been really cool to learn how to edit that, because if you've seen it, like, you can see me like I added the green screen. And so they're sitting in front of a green screen. I throw the car crashes on behind them. And then I'm able to, and then like when the car crashes are done, they're looking at reels and stuff. I'm able to like edit the couch to go down, and then you can see I basically edit it to be kind of more interactive, so it looks like a better shot. Yeah.
Nice.
And through that, I learned how to do all that through just like practice. Like every time I practice, every time I film, I practice a little bit more, and then eventually I'm like, I think I just need new lights, because I can't fit, like, it's like just because I'm doing it in a room where I can't control the lights, But yeah, no, it's like I didn't know how to edit podcasts in spring, and now I confidently could edit a podcast. Like we recorded one on Tuesday. We recorded one Saturday morning. It's ready to go out tonight. So you know what I mean?
Yep. And like with this podcast, I'm learning like the best way like to learn something is actually do it. Like you learn on the go, like, oh, we need to do this line, this camera work, we need to do this at the last minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and that's how I got, and that's how I got approached to do the thing. Is Mike and Ben approached me to do the troll hole, and then we brought on Aiden, and Aiden was like, "How much is it to do all this?" I'm like, I gave him like a little bit more of the price, but the same price-ish, because his podcast is easier to edit by like a million, because with his podcast, it's just one camera.
Yep, and it's just
I just go like that. I have the cam. No, it's him, Elliot, and Trey Charles added now too. So, but yeah, 3 people on a couch sitting in front of a green screen, and so and then all I got to do is edit, like, you know, the couch coming down, make sure that the YouTube video doesn't look too weird, do all the little stuff, but then I don't have to listen to the whole thing to make it work. With the troll hole, I have to listen to the whole thing, because I have to camera switch every time they're talking.
Yep, because you got like a camera on Mike, you have a camera on Ben, you have a camera on the guest.
Actually, no, I just have a camera on Mike and Ben and a camera on the guest, so I only need 2 shots.
Oh, sweet.
But then, yeah, and then I also have, like, whenever they're talking about trolls or anytime they're talking about stuff, I like move them, like animate them into the screen. So every time they're talking to a troll, it's like it comes up, and when they're done talking, so I've learned how to do all that type of stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I make all their reels and stuff too. So I make reels for all those things too.
Nice. And I think my final question is, like, do you have any stuff on media where you could be like qualified to be on the troll hole?
Not yet. No one's been trolling me. I'm just producer Neil in the background. So yeah, I wish one day. Yeah, I wish. I was gonna say the thing with like trolls and musicians is musicians don't get trolls like comics. You know what I mean? I mean, if I ever pull up a piece of my stuff and it goes like, "Hey, your music sounds like dog shit," I'm like, "Okay, now I'm getting trolled. Let's go."
Oh, and I'm surprised on the. I want to talk about this. Like, I'm surprised on like the Chad Daniels episode. I'm surprised I didn't talk about like his experience on Kill Tony.
Oh, he did. We cut it out.
Oh, he.
Yeah, he did. We cut out We cut out a Kill Tony thing, and we also cut out another thing too, just because we didn't want, like. Yeah, I don't know. Not
I did watch this one YouTube video on this one guy tried to attack Chad Daniels, but the comment section just totally turned against the YouTuber. It's like one of those sweet moments of like comment section justice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I saw that too. Now Chad also talked about it. Like, I don't know. He's like, I didn't know that guy could just come up and yell at me. I'm not gonna give more. He's like, I was sitting there and the guy just started yelling at me. I've never even seen Kill Tony, because he doesn't, some people don't get a chance to check each other's thing out. So
And then some people made like the bullshit claim, like, well, if you're a person who's like being sensitive about someone attacking you, you shouldn't be a comedian.
it's like, no, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes.
That's like a genuine human response.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, he's up there being vulnerable, and he like also like being a panel there, especially if you haven't seen it and that happens, you're like, I don't know what's really going on here. Like because also if you watch Chad, he's like kind of just like trying to, manage it. He's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
But yeah,
also
no,
that was his first time on the panel, and like when you do something public, anything public, like even for the first time, people expect you perfection.
exactly.
But
So
Chad
yeah, no,
handled
Chad,
himself very well in that episode. It was
I agree.
watch the YouTube channel like Too Lazy to Try, where the guy tried to do like an attack piece on Chad, but the comment section just totally went against
You
him.
can't. That's awesome. Because yeah, Chad's like the nicest guy. Like it's kind of it's kind of hard to imagine like trying to throw that dude hate just because like he does like when he's on stage have a little cynically thing that he does, but then the second he not even really he's like just does his dad stuff, and then he gets off stage and he's like the most genuinely nice dude ever at Acme. We every time Chad comes to Acme, we freaking have we close like when after the after bar we've had like a Nerf gun war till 4 a.m. with Chad. Like we do karaoke and shit on the stage at Acme with him. It's so fun. He's such a cool dude. And also really and a homie. Like he's very cordial with me. Every time I see him, we give each other a hug. He actually knew about Dave. He listened to Dave's music. Like he's so cool.
All right. Well, I think that's the great best note we can end this podcast on. Thank you so much,
Perfect.
Neil, for being here. Like, how can people? I think we'll do like
Plugs.
a plug with the last plug. Like, what do you produce again? You produce Troll Hole, Goat Mentality, and
Slamcast. Yeah, you can get all those are on YouTube. I do all the video work on there. Also check us out on Instagram or Instagram and stuff. But yeah, the Troll Hole podcast on YouTube, the Goat Mentality podcast on YouTube, and then Slamcast. If you can't find it, Slam Academy. I'm the host on that. Music, Seven Swords Sound on Instagram.
Yep, and I would ask you like if you had any upcoming days coming up, but I don't know when this is coming out because I still have to learn like Dave Velchev's lessons on like getting stuff finished.
Yeah, dude. Dude, the cool thing is once, like I said, you edit a couple of them, you just make a workflow and just get through it.
Yep, I'm gonna have my brother help me out with the editing so I can do more of this on my own.
Yeah, yeah, of course, man. Dude, and then what's it called? Yeah, dude. I appreciate you. I want to give you some tips, but I don't know if you want to keep me on for the podcast for it. I could throw you a couple tips, but yeah,
well,
dude, I appreciate you for having me.
I know I'll be coming down to Minneapolis back and forth sometime. I'll come visit in person.
Cool. And I'd say I'd love to have you on my my Wednesday show. So if you give me the week or the couple weeks out in advance, I'd throw you on a Make Culture. I always thought I'm gonna put this low key, I'm gonna plug you. I always thought you were really funny, Kelly Berger. I always thought you were the shit. So I'm like, I would love to have you on, man. If you were in town, you would have already been on. So
all right, on that big praise on me, I think that's what we'll end it with me getting the highlight.
Let's do it. Praising Kelly Berger. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening.
All right, Berger out.
Berger out.